Meanwhile, Donald Trump, he's actually telling people to boycott Apple.
What I think you ought to do is boycott Apple until such time as they give that security number. How do you like that? I just thought it. Boycott Apple. And you're not going to get to the bottom of it unless we use common sense. So I like the idea. Boycott Apple until such time as they give that information. I think that's a great idea.
And just moments ago, senior Apple executive says Trump's call for a boycott puts Apple in standing with other good people that he's criticized. Joining me now, Georgette Mosbacher, Rich Lowry, Morgan Ortagus, and Gina Loudon. Rich, let me start with you. Golly, it's a new day, a new Trump feud, but I think they're two separate issues
Apple
here.
Bigger than the Pope? I don't know. What's the bigger target?
Right now, Apple's got a bigger market cap, that's for sure. But we do have interesting bedfellows because President Obama's administration coming after Apple hard, and now the GOP frontrunner.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not humanly possible to boycott Apple products, so I assume that's just a rhetorical ploy on Donald's part. But look, I don't understand why Apple's acting as though it has to build a doomsday machine that will end everyone's privacy if it just unlocks a terrorist phone to aid a counterterrorism investigation.
You don't buy that?
I don't buy it. I think a big part of it is Apple's self-image here. They want to pretend as though they're protecting everyone's privacy when actually these sort of companies know everything about us much more than the government does.
Well, they know about us, but I guess, Morgan, what they're saying, though, is do you want everybody to know about you? Do you want everyone to have access with your information? And by the way, Donald Trump said it was a liberal thing. I think it's more of a libertarian sort of thing, personally. I think it's sort of the kind of thing, again, I pointed back to that commercial that put Apple out there for everyone to see. I think that's what they're trying to cling to, at least Tim Cook is.
Listen, I have to give Donald Trump credit once again for brilliantly playing the media every day. I think we all need to take lessons on how he does it. It was interesting to me that he called for the boycott of Apple, and then I saw on Twitter someone took a picture of the merchandise stand selling his Make America Great Again hats and T-shirts, and it was with the iPads to check out, you know, to use it. So he's going to have to retool his own campaign. Listen, this privacy discussion is one that's very serious. It's not one that we should take lightly. And as I said on your show last night, and I agree with Rich, I think that this is a bit more of a PR move from Tim Cook than anything. The privacy issue is definitely very serious, but the corporations are not above the law. And if terrorists can kill Americans because of your product, then your product is going to have to be modified. Plain and simple.
Georgette, I know I saw you in the green room. I saw an iPhone in a garbage can. I thought it was yours. Is that yours?
No. I couldn't manage without a phone for 20 seconds. But I do think that maybe it might be a PR stunt, but it will backfire on Tim Cook. What he's done here is he has opened, excuse the pun, a can of worms. Because if this goes to the Congress to be legislated, he's going to have a back door whether he likes it or not. He manages to use the law to protect his trademarks and to protect his intellectual property. But when he will defy a court order when it suits him. The problem here is his timing is really bad because American people are scared. They're frightened. And particularly with all of these people coming over the border and what we saw in San Bernardino, what we saw in France, what we just saw in Turkey, they're going to say, let the government take the phone, one phone, open it. And yet, instead of doing that quietly, he is now going to have to face, I believe, a congressional, they're going to look at this Congress, and he may find he won't have a choice.
Well, you know, Gina, earlier today there was a 3-day extension to the to the deadline here. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I have always believed, to Georgette's point, there's an elegant solution about just putting this phone in an armored car, sitting into Apple, let them unlock it, send back the data, and it shouldn't even be story one, but it is, and that's what we're talking about right now.
But the issue was whether or not Apple would have to make all devices have a backdoor, not just this one. This one, I think we can all agree it should absolutely happen. But you've got to love the stroke of genius of Donald Trump to speak extemporaneously, right? This was just a, I don't know, I think, yeah, we should boycott. But he sends a very not so subtle message there, Charles, that his answer to this would not be government control, that it would be free market control, because a boycott is a free market answer to a private industry problem. So I think it was another stroke of genius on his part.
I will say the stock was down 22 cents, so Wall Street kind of yawned at the economic impact of this. I think Rich made the point earlier, and you too, Georgette. people are sort of wedded to their products, particularly Apple products. Also, a lot of people are saying, hey, is that the presidential solution to everything? Sue, boycott, threaten? I mean, is that how you're going to, run an administration? But